Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I am 100% not sure what happened there, but Chris was... we had a black screen for you, Chris. I was like, I don't know where he is.
I wasn't sure. Like, I turned it off. I was like, I'm screwing something up, so I'm just gonna turn my camera off.
Okay. Cool. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Jake.
How's it going, everybody? We are joined today by one of my very good friends, Chris O'Neill from 9th Level Games.
Hey, everybody.
Right there. That way. That's where the camera is pointing. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
He'll be easy to pick out. He's the guy with salt and pepper hair who's not Dave or I.
The other guy with a beard and glasses that isn't.
Yes, it'll be all good. Let's say hi to folks in the chat. We've got Richard is here, Richard Ralph. Dave Hummel is here. Hello, Dave. Scott Radom. Luis is here, says greetings, everyone. Electricity just came back on just in time for the show. Nice. Josh is here, feeling under the weather, but looking forward to a good show. Hopefully you can stick with this show. Jez is here.
I guarantee you the worst show, Josh. Josh,
the worst show ever.
I'm here to ruin it.
Okay, well, I after the show we'll go back. I'll get you to go back to episode 5.
The real worst episode.
Season 1, episode 5, maybe episode 4. I don't know, somewhere around there. It was bad.
No, the one where we didn't have any audio. That's the worst one, and everything kept freezing.
Well, that doesn't exist anymore. I deleted that.
Yeah, right. It was so bad we deleted it.
I nuked it from orbit. And Chris Kemig is here as well. Hi, Chris. Awesome. Welcome. So yeah, tonight we're going to be talking with Chris from Ninth Level Games. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of fun, creative stuff. Talk about some RPG stuff. Talk about some art stuff and some. I will wait until later. I will be patient enough, but we're going to talk about some cool dice cars. So
Dice cars.
we'll come back. We'll come back to it. Awesome. Jake, what have you been up to for the week?
I actually started building another Terminator squad. I told you I finished that. Those 2 books about the Carcharodons.
Yep.
And I have like 3/2 of the Leviathan box, and I was like, I don't need all these Terminators, so I'm gonna build 5 of them and paint them up as the Carcharodons.
Cool.
I'm gonna use them as like almost like a test platform. I told you I have a project I want to bring to Adepticon and Nova of a squad that I want to paint. I'm doing a new technique I've never used before, so I was like, I'm gonna do like a version of it on these guys and see if I like it, and then if I do, then I'll use the same technique on the squad I'm doing for Adepticon.
Okay, nice.
Is that 40K?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
40K is like a giant hole in my nerddom.
Right.
And so it's one of the few times that I get to experience what I sound like to regular people.
Blah 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 blah.
A squad of Terminators, and I'm like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then the Caradocs, and I was like, I don't know what they are. I have no idea. And then I was like, and then it was just completely off the rails there.
Yeah.
But I'll say, like obviously, like Chris knows enough.
Yeah.
Like I know how to say like 30 or 40 words in German. Chris knew to go 40K. You know what I mean? Like he was like, I understood it.
Just 40K? Eh? Yes.
Of course. Don't you all? No. Okay. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. How about yourself, Chris? Have you been doing any gaming?
So my personal gaming has been Star Wars Unlimited. 3rd set just came out, and it's pretty good. There's a little bit of fear that the 2nd set, a lot of people were like, I don't know. The 1st set was really good, and the 2nd set was like, okay, and then the 3rd set's like, oh yeah, this is, and it's showing, it's highlighting the design elements that were in sets 1 and 2. Okay. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of stuff that was like, that stuff was crap. Now it's like, ooh, that's interesting. You mean, ooh, general tag, you say? So really fun. New set release for a TCG means a whole bunch of new decks, whole new thing. So
the other thing to keep in mind, I think that's really cool about they're putting out a 3rd set is, so anybody who's on here who plays Magic is familiar with Commander, which is a very specific format of Magic that's really well liked. It's by far the most popular version.
Yeah, it's like 85% of all Magic.
Yeah, and it's a multiplayer game where normal Magic it's 1v1. So now that this 3rd set has dropped for Star Wars, there's a new format called Twin Suns, where it's designed to have, we each have basically multiple commanders, and it's designed to be a multiplayer game. So that's just gonna bring in more.
Every game of Star Wars Unlimited, you pick a leader and a base, and in Twin Suns, you have 2 leaders and a base, but you're limited to 1 card, only 1 card each. It's Highlander in the deck format.
It'll be fun. It'll be a nice.
People are really into it. The community is really embracing the Twin Suns, and Twin Suns is another one of those things where all of a sudden people are like, now that there's enough cards and there's enough card pull and there's some stuff. There's really, you can see that there's like synergies and things that have been built into play in the multiplayer arena that are different. It's really strong.
Cool. Excellent. Jay, do you want to?
Yeah, Dave, what are you been up to?
I've been doing some 40K adjacent stuff, Chris. So I'm heading to Houston this weekend to play an event called Bastarian, which is an Inquisitor 28 event. So
Inquisitor 28.
Inquisitor.
Is that like half of 40K?
kind of a little bit different.
Very tiny figures.
So 28 millimeter is normal size. That's what most games are, is 28 mil.
Yeah.
Warhammer 40K is technically 28 millimeter heroic. So everything's a little bit, the hands are bigger and everything's more superhero looking. So it's not ultra realistic, but it's still 28 millimeter. To set this up for Dave, the original Inquisitor game is 54 millimeter. So instead of guys that are this big, they're almost like G.I. Joe size. So they're like,
why would you not do that? That sounds awesome.
So it's a skirmish game where you pick an Inquisitor who's your boss, and then he builds a war team. Or it didn't have to be an Inquisitor, but you built a war band. So you had like anywhere between like
five,
2 or 3 models if you were running the Space Marines, up to like, I think you could do 11. I think if you did it just right.
That'd be pretty crazy.
It would be
5 or 6 is pretty.
Yeah, it's usually 5, 6, 7 is usually standard.
And when was that from?
Oh, that was
released in 2000.
Yeah, the 2000s. So
actually, the year 2000.
Yeah, it was fun. Like, we carried it, but GW didn't really know what to do with it because it was such a weird scale. Like, I don't think any of their hobbyists were like, I don't understand this. So
there was a whole weird thing that occurred in that early 2000s where people tried all these different formats and sizes, and then WizKids put out action figures for Shadowrun, and everyone went, well, that's dumb.
Yeah.
So Dave is going to be playing a 54 millimeter original game at 28 millimeter.
At 28 millimeters.
Although, rules are really different. Anyway.
When you catch on fire.
But the warband I'm taking is like 9 models. It's the setting is that there's this planet that it was a cathedral planet, lots of different variations on the imperial cult on this planet. In the 40K lore, there's a big rift has spread across the galaxy, the Cicatrix Maledictum, which cut off that planet from the Astronomicon, the light of the Emperor. So there was huge turmoil. Everybody fell into factionalism, and now it's a bunch of the factions are like, we can rebuild like an Astronomicon. We can build a beacon, a lighthouse to reconnect with Earth. And there's other people who are like, we're not sure we want that. We don't think we want that. We're going to stop you. So a whole bunch of people are coming in. I think there's probably going to be 30 or 40 people.
Is it a connected game? Is it like a?
It's a series of. It's like a connected campaign. Yeah.
Nice.
The results for the first games that people play will impact how we play the second game and how we play the third game. That kind of thing.
That's
crazy. But I am holding up this wooden box because I don't know if we can.
There you go.
So the guys who are organizing it created a little logo. So
a little lighthouse
logo today. And this is my little display box that the warband is going into. The warband stores, but they'll all be sort of arranged on there. And then there's a little sort of background for my particular warband in there.
I like it.
So I've been kind of focusing on that, getting that all done. I had to buy a set of like the cool little corners and hardware and so on Amazon to be able to turn this box into a little display.
Houston has a weird, like, sneaky nerd scene.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine just went out there for like some gaming thing, and then another friend of mine was out there for like a men's LGBTQ bowling league. That's like a traveling league, and they were out there for a big thing. And then Dave's gonna be out there next week.
Was that Tim Blank?
Drew Smith. Drew's a good buddy of mine. So it was Drew Swint and Tim Blank went out there for that. So
I was going to say, we can't have 2 gay male bowling nerd adjacent friends in Boston.
We do. It's Tim Blank.
Same people. It's the same people.
Drew Swint.
Okay, it's just.
But yeah, like
there was too many. That Venn diagram circled up way too hard, too fast.
So then Dave's gonna be out there next week, and then I got invited to. So we can go over this later, but I don't think I'm gonna be at PAX Unplugged. I was gonna try to get out there, but I already told Chris this, but
Yeah.
with everything going on, I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about this, but so I got invited. Yeah, who cares? What are they going to do? So I got invited to like an early release sneak peek thing for a new game that's coming out. And it's being hosted in Houston that weekend. So Ben's going to go out to Philadelphia, and he'll be there for the week. And he'll see Chris one of the days. He's going to go to PAX on Saturday. So I'll make sure he looks you up while he's there, Dave. But he'll be in Philly for like 3 or 4 days, but he's going to be at PAX just Saturday. And then I'll be
for the people at home. I live in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
PAX is our like home big con. So,
but even if Chris didn't live in Philadelphia, he would still be at PAX.
I would still be at PAX. We go a little crazier because it is in our town. So
yeah, 100%. But it'll be a good time. But Dave, I assume that you're going to bring home the trophy. That's what I expect.
Well, I'm not sure if there's a trophy, but they have created a tarot deck and a T-shirt.
Okay.
So I'll be getting both of those. I'll be wearing my Vestarian T-shirt next week. I'll post some photos from the weekend on the Facebook group, so folks can check that out. There's going to be all sorts of crazy stuff. Folks are coming from like Sweden and the UK to play in this, so
it's crazy.
Yeah, pretty insane.
I'm really into the idea. I didn't realize that there was any 56 millimeter scale. I didn't realize that was like a thing.
Yeah, but the as Jake said, it was kind of crazy. It was 24 years ago, and it's really tough to find those models now.
It's like trained hobbyists.
No. Fun.
It's a good game. It's a really fun game too.
Scott will have something to say about it, but
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, there we go. Excellent. Just says it's Inquisitor 28. You'll be lucky to leave with your sanity and not on fire. For sure. Actually, most of my actually not most of them, but a couple of my heroes have flamers. So, they'll be setting folks on fire. One of the cool things as well is that creating the warband, there's a set of rules that we were given to create our warband, but there was no points in it, so it wasn't like each of the models and all of the war gear all had a points value that we could add up, but when it came down to it, like, points didn't really matter. If it was a cool story, great, go for it. But one thing everybody gets to do, everybody has a saint that has a psychic power, and you could pick a psychic power from one on the list, or you could create your own psychic power. So I've created my own psychic power, and hopefully
this is all like friendly gentlefolk who want to have fun and play in a fun narrative game, and there's no weirdo tryhards that are showing up to rule the day. No,
there's no weird. Well, there's plenty of weirdos. There's no tryhards.
Nice. Some rando incel who's escaped his mom's basement is showing up to show his worth by crushing everybody.
No, none of that. Everybody's there to tell the story.
Nice. Good.
Cool. So very excited about that. Oh, Brett Abbott has joined us and said, "Flamers deliver the Emperor's hugs."
Sure.
What I want to see now, though, is I want to see a version of this game that's played like NBA Jam, where you play with 28 millimeter figures, so you get a fire, and then you replace them with a 54 millimeter figure.
Oh, interesting.
Like Altered Beast, like they've leveled up.
They leveled up, he's on fire.
That could be great.
Drop the bigger figure in.
But yeah,
until they miss a roll, they get to be, awesome.
I played the NFL version of that game. I think it's called Blitz.
NFL Blitz, which is a fun game, but not. NBA Jam will always have a place in my heart.
Nice. Cool thing. Okay, we are going to jump into our first slide. Everybody knows what we do first.
That's the Impigulator.
Yeah. There we go. What do we got? Ta-da!
There we go.
Okay, so longtime viewers might remember that I showed off.
You always show it off after you shrink the screen.
But it doesn't matter. This is just a reference, image. So, but it appears that I totally forgot to post this on social media with the hashtag. So anyway, if you head to the Army Painters website, you can vote for your favorite version of the dragon. I think there's like a dozen dragons you can check out. Unfortunately, none of them are mine, but there are some very cool versions in there, and you can vote for who your favorite is.
That one with the one with like the almost like the metal, like the molten kind of look to it. That one's really cool.
It is pretty cool. I think that was my second favorite. So there's one in there that I thought was a little, well, just a touch cooler than that. But yeah, definitely some very cool stuff in there. So go and check that out. Just fetch the Ambigulator. Excellent.
Dave's watching the show back from 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, I am sorry. When I go through that motion of trying to find where things are on the screen, everything else that's going on goes crazy. I probably shouldn't read any more comments for a little bit till we catch up. So, fantastic. So next up, I think Jake.
Oh, so there is a glitch with this. So they're not $68. They're $60. For all the normal sizes, small, medium, large, and extra large, they're all $60. For double XL, it goes up by $4. And then if you go up to a 3XL, it goes up by $4. So I don't know why I did this, but the 3XL is 60. Small, medium, large, XL, they're all $60. I don't know why it says 68. I don't know why it saved that, but when you click on the link and go to it, as soon as you start clicking on the sizes and the different colors, because there's three options. There's this black camo one. There's the one I was wearing last week, which is like stars and stripes in gray. So the top half is stars, and then the arms and the bottom half is stripes. And then there's the zip up on the bottom left there. That's just a black zip up. So you can pick the style you want, and then you can pick the size you want.
Yeah. Excellent. So link in the notes below, and as Jake says, it's not 68, it's 60.
Correct.
Cool.
Unless you're a full-size human.
Yeah. Unless you're me, unless you're like trapped in a world too small, and then in which case your hoodie will be slightly more expensive. I will say they all run pretty long. Like even my 3XL, I bought it because usually when I put on a hoodie, like this ends up happening. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't go all the way to your wrists. So,
right.
But that is because you're 38 feet tall, Jake.
I'm 6.5 feet tall.
That is 38 feet to me, and all other regular size.
Sure. Yeah. But what I would say is like even on the 3XL that I bought, the torso fits really good, and the arms are actually really long. Like I was like, wow, this is like the most arm length I've ever had in a hoodie. So, and it's really they're really.
I mean, I feel your pain.
You got me. You know what I'm talking about.
I just push my sleeves up.
We're have to order Chris a medium.
Right.
Oh,
nice.
I am definitely a 2X kind of guy.
Nice.
It's been a long time since I was
It's medium.
I mean, it's
Excellent. Okay, fantastic. There we go.
The t-shirts are up there too. If anybody wants t-shirts, Dave has the links down there as well. So
link in the notes below. Awesome. Next up. Cool. This is another thing that I've been working on.
That's pretty dope.
This is a black and white version of it.
It's very Roman Lepat. I like that little vignette thing.
It's a little Groulet box. Nikki Groulet from Switzerland does pioneered these box sort of style, but yeah, just a little vignette. Next week I might show it in color.
Nice.
I wanted to switch it take a quick photo with my phone, switch to the black and white to see how my contrasts were looking, and not too bad.
If you painted stuff like this in black and white like this, the Shadow Dark community would buy the crap out of
it. Yeah,
that's true.
This came up. I just assumed this was a new book for Shadow Dark.
Right. Nice. We'll have to talk about that after the show. I'll get more information. But yeah, that's just something else I've been working on, which is all good. But now I think we are ready to really start grilling Chris about 9th level games.
Oh no.
Nice. Hopefully Chris studied his flashcards with Heather all week.
I mean, when it comes to Kobolds Ate My Baby, I don't need to study flashcards. That's for real. This is the latest version of the game, Kobolds Ate My Baby, that we've been making since before Inquisitor miniatures were 56 millimeters.
Right. 54.
I'm assuming 56 because that would be 2 times 28. But of course, nothing in the world makes any sense.
No, really is that.
We've been making Kobolds Ate My Baby since 1999, and so this year, this came out at the beginning of the year, and it was the 25th anniversary of Kobolds Ate My Baby, and we've had a ton of fun with it. For people that are going to PAX Unplugged, we were talking about that earlier. Saturday night at PAX Unplugged this year, we're doing how to play Kobolds Ate My Baby in the big room. So get together with 100+ people as we destroy them and teach people, especially people that don't know how to play any role-playing game. Because my favorite thing in the world is to teach people how to role-play with kobolds, and then they spend the rest of their lives role-playing and going, why is this so hard?
Josh gets it down in the threads. Josh wrote "All Hail King Torg."
All Hail King Torg, right? Yeah, you know it. You're on it.
Yeah.
We've gone full circle with this, where it started out where everything we did was us making fun of other games to coming around to, in the middle period was us just making fun of ourselves. And now we're back all the way around to the other side where we're like grognards, and now we're making fun of the games again, but for a completely different reason.
Right. Wait, more ironic or less ironic?
That's hard. Like 25 years ago, we made fun of the games that we were all like, you guys don't know what you're doing. You got to be punk rock. You got to be hard. You got to be cool. And now it's like, oh, your stuff is so dumb. You guys, you're such posers. Like, and in the middle, we just made fun of ourselves for 20 years. So.
Right.
So for anybody at home who hasn't played Kobolds Ate My Baby, the idea is we're all playing kobold minions, and we're all trying to find stuff to bring back to King Torg.
All Hail King Torg.
That's right,
the most important role in the game is anytime anyone says the name of the king, everyone has to say All Hail King Torg, or you take a check on the Kobold Horrible Death record. And after 25 years of playing this game, we just literally got rid of all the other forms of damage. And so now the only form of damage is take a check on the Kobold Horrible Death record. So anything you do negative, there's just one more chance you're going to die. You could die from anything at any time. The number one thing that nerds tell me about is characters that died in character creation, or people that got killed before they got a chance to take a turn. One of my favorites. Everything about Kobolds Ate My Baby is inverting the traditional trope. In it, it's not a game where you take yourself too seriously. You're going to die while you're playing. And in fact, it's really funny. I recently saw an exchange online where someone was explaining, they were like, no, I made a kobold and I really like them and I don't want them to die, so we're not going to play it that way. And I was like, okay, you already gave me your money, so you can play the game any way you want. But we've always focused on trying to die. And for JP here, huge at Origins. Kobolds Ate My Baby got its birth. It came out of Origins. The game actually started as a reaction to the fact that Wizards of the Coast had bought Dungeons and Dragons. And we're like, we're going to come out with 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons. And we were like, well, there goes we're going to make a really serious fantasy game. Just throw that out the window and change our lives forever. And somebody was like, well, how can you get people to come play your game? And we were like, oh, well, you need to write a really good description in the book. Something like, oh no, a kobold ate my baby. That'll get people to read your description.
Right.
Flash forward 25 years. It's really.
I'm not sure if you saw the comment from Scott saying, Dave, shouldn't you be reminding Chris that this is no joke? Dingoes really did get that poor woman's baby. I can't believe Dave isn't standing up for a national tragedy.
What's super funny, Scott, is the fact that kids today don't know anything about dingoes eating babies.
Yep.
They 100% don't get that reference.
They're not interested in watching anything by Meryl Streep. It's really disappointing.
I just it's one of those things where like having and explaining that and people being like, what do you mean? Yeah. And then being like, oh man, right, you're a kid, so you don't care. And in this case, kid is like, I don't know, 38 or younger. Like it's not it's up there.
The crazy thing, Chris, I think I might have mentioned this on the show before, but in 1980, when it happened, my parents took my sister and I on a trip around Australia, including stopping at Uluru Airdrop, where this attack occurred. We were there like 2 weeks before it.
Okay.
Like literally 14 days before.
Oh, like you would pass by like right before it happened?
So it could have been Kobolds. It could have been like Dingoes Ate Dave.
Yeah, we didn't pass by. We were camped there.
Oh my god!
Like same camping ground. The whole deal, and so my understanding of the whole event was colored by the fact that during that time that we were there, we only saw one dingo, and that was like 20 miles.
Sure.
So that has tainted that personal experience has tainted my understanding of the entire affair.
That's wild.
Well, it's funny that the name and the introduction, the idea of a dingo, it does all that actually does all play into our idea for this game.
Right.
So the first one was that we meaning ninth level games, me and Dan Landis, at the time in 1999, we're Gygaxian orthodox and believe that kobolds bark, and that they're little doggy people,
right?
Not this heresy of them being little dragon people, and we got into this like mindset, which was why there has to be something special about kobolds because they're always getting killed by adventurers, and if you look at the number of adventurers that exist, there has to be an inordinate number of first level adventurers.
Right.
Like an order of magnitude beyond what anything, like getting to second level is the hardest thing in the world. And along that way, you're going to kill N kobolds, right?
Yep.
So there must be so many kobolds, and they have to be some kind of nuisance that people are always killing them. And it was like, well, if they're a nuisance and a pest, then they're bad at everything. Why is there such a hatred for them? And it's like, oh, because they eat babies, right? Like, and they're little dogs, like dingoes.
Yep. Put
one and one together, you get 7, and you're like, Bob's your uncle. Kobolds ate my baby.
Kobolds ate my baby.
We actually still have the original in stock. We have the original one and more things to eat. We have some of the original rule sets for anybody at home that's wondering why they've heard of this. We're talking about it. So if you look at the bottom right hand corner of that book where it says polymorph, it's because for the anniversary, Chris has released it and they've updated the rules so now it runs on polymorph, which is their system that everything else they make runs on. Kobolds was kind of like the outlier, like it's their oldest game, it's their most successful game, but it doesn't run on polymorph, so they updated it.
And this is now the third complete overhaul of the rules, because the first version of it was let's make fun of D&D, and we literally wrote it in the second edition D&D era.
Nice.
Like when people think about it, it's like we wrote that game because they announced that they were going to make third edition, right? Like, so it doesn't make any jokes about third edition until we came out with Kobolds Ate My Baby third edition to make fun of third edition. But when we came out with third edition, we actually changed the rules from its original thing, which to what was at the time called the Beer Engine, which was a simple D6 based system, and that ran for a long time. and there was a thing that started happening with all of our polymorph games, where we were running our polymorph games, and it turned out they were easier to run than Kobolds, the game famous for its simplicity. And it like literally got me angry, and I was like, we have to change it. We have to update Kobolds to polymorph, or I'll never be able to run Kobolds again. So
right. Nice.
And then to do a complete another rule system, when we were doing the Kobolds thing, we realized that Kobolds is a game about being completely powerless in a world that actively hates you and wants you to die.
Right.
Which is literally what Morkborg is.
Yeah.
So why not make Kobolds Ate My Baby if it was Morkborg? And that game is De Smorgasborg.
Nice.
Which was written by Glenn Gibbon. And it's very funny. If you're a Morkborg guy, Smorgasborg is for you, because it takes the central joke of Kobolds Ate My Baby and expresses it through the lens of the truly metal universe that is Morkborg.
No.
So.
Just quickly, I need to point out in the chat that Ben has joined the chat and said, "Is this show officially?"
Yep, that's it.
Two cool guys and Jake.
I'm just here to moderate.
Yep.
I love Ben.
Ben is the best. Ben is the best.
Fantastic. Awesome. No, that's cool. I was like, I was going to ask like why how did that connection with Morkborg come about? But obviously, as you explained it, it's totally that.
Look at Ben jumping in here and helping us out, being like, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Back to work.
Hey, like and subscribe. Talk crap about Jake. See y'all. Peace.
Dude, perfect.
We were sitting at PAX Unplugged after the show one day, and Glenn made the Smorgasborg joke, and we all laughed, and I was like, well, Glenn, do you want to write it? And he was like, wait, dude, I thought I was just making a joke. And I was like, dude, Kobolds Ate My Baby is jokes. Like, that's like, it's like literally what we're doing. That's a good joke. Let's make it happen. So
nice.
And for me, like laying it out, it was really fun to play around and do like Morkborg guys, the art of Kobolds, because it looks like a Morkborg book. It follows all the rules. It looks super metal until you realize that, they are just the cute kobolds. So
right.
You also love zines. So
I love zines. Yeah. I can't show you my zine collection because it's in shelves over here and a giant spinner rack over here. So
also, wait, you have a spinner rack in your house?
I have Severed Press made a spinner rack for zines for selling RPG zines, and I have one in my room. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I still need to get one from them for the store.
I would say I originally got one. We thought we would use it in our booth at conventions, and then I got it, and I was like, Heather, I'm putting this in my room.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, that makes sense. I was like, it's going to free up a bunch of space for me to fill with other stuff.
Yep.
I should put it right here so people can see it, because it would really elevate the people. Be like, does that guy have a spinner rack?
What do you guys want to play today? Let's pick something out.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Mazes.
So Mazes is our core fantasy game. This is our deep. This is my baby, and it's actually really funny. We so talking the story about Kobolds Ate My Baby, we were actually Dan Landis and I were working in the late 90s on a fantasy heartbreaker. We were working on this is better than D&D, but at the time D&D was second edition, so it was much easier. And what we were working on was really presaging a lot of the stuff that would happen in the OSR movement. We were making a game that was a throwback, and it was a let's get back into the dungeon and do stuff. And we took a side turn and we went away. And I really was like, we're not gonna. I realized that I was probably never going to get to work on a fantasy game because unless I worked on one of the big ones, right?
Right.
And but then when we created the polymorph system, it gave us an opportunity. We went back, we made some zines for mazes. We caught an audience, and so we went and we did all the things. We had a really great campaign around this. What we're showing here on the right-hand side are some of the things I'm working on right now, which is a player deck. So literally, this is the front and back of the Resolver card. This is everything that you need in order to play the game. Each player is a D4, a D6, a D8, or a D10. And that's the only die you ever roll. And then this is what you're rolling against, and that's like kind of the core of the action. But then the rest of the deck has all of your edges and abilities and classes and everything else. So you can literally just put a character together with a couple of cards.
So for anybody at home also who doesn't know what we're talking about, we talk about zines. So everybody knows what a normal D&D book looks like or a rule book. These are zines. So they're little, digest size, small format books. I've been friends with Chris for a while now, and I got into this because I really liked the game. So this is the original printing of Mazes,
which was zines, and then this is the hardcover.
Yep.
And then we have Return to Dark Tower, which is the same system, but in the super luxe extra glossy version, based on the exciting board game property.
But yeah, for anybody who's a role-playing player, like I've sold so many copies of Mazes over the past couple of months. I sold 2 this week just because it's become one of my favorite systems. It's really easy to play. It's really straightforward. It's very narrative driven. It gives the GM or whoever's running the game, it gives them a lot of freedom because, like, if Chris is running the game, he doesn't roll dice, like just the players do. So when we get attacked, like Chris will say, okay, the skeleton swings a sword at you or whatever, and then we roll dice. If I'm a Vanguard, I'm going to roll a boots check, which is me jumping out of the way. Or if I'm a Sentinel, I'm going to roll a bones check, which is I take the hit on my shield or my armor or whatever. It's really fun. I've used this system a lot to run other games. Like I have an old superhero game from years ago has a lot of really fun lore, and the art's really cool, and like the layout's really cool, but the rules are garbage. So I've just been like running it in Mazes.
And that's we have Mazes in the Polymorph system. We actually have a document called Building with Polymorph that is available on our website, and it basically walks you through how you can take an idea that you have and use the Polymorph system so that you can resolve that big problem of the rules being garbage in your really cool system. You have a really cool idea, you have really cool lore, you've done all this stuff, and that's been like a big. It's been fun because Polymorph is now a couple of years in. We've won a couple of awards. People are really starting to get it. People are thinking about it. But now we have really good designers that are coming to us and saying, like, hey, I have an idea for a Polymorph game. You want to hear it? And like 2 of the games we put out this year were because of that. So we put out Scurvy Buggers, which is about, romance with pirates. And the other game is Sentai and Sensibility by Bug, which is what if Jane Austen wrote the Power Rangers? Like it's 5-color Sentai team fighting kaiju monsters in Regency Britain. So it's
okay.
So again, Dave, very serious stuff here.
It's real serious.
I gotta say I am a big fan of mashups.
Me too. I mean, give me next year's big one. We're going to talk about another game in a minute, but next year's big game for us is Wrestlemania, the Symphony of the Fight, which is.
Please tell me you're bringing Ben in as a consultant on that.
Yeah, right. The core idea of the game is this: Ultra Dracula is taken over the peaceful country of Greco-Romania and cast a magic spell on himself to make him immune to all weapons. And so real pro wrestlers have to go kick his ass.
Right.
Because they don't need weapons. They are weapons.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you need to bring in Ben Fail as a consultant. Ben is obsessed with wrestling, so
Yeah.
So the
I'm
people
so-
that wrote it, the people that did the writing for the game, Brian Fightmaster Neff and Glenn Avery and Nicole Amato are all huge fans both of Castlevania and all the Castlevania games and wrestling.
same.
And so WrestleMania is going to be a legacy Metroidvania tabletop role-playing experience with audio visual unlockables. So it's insane. It's insane. So Jez Hunt, I don't know where you're from, but
He's
you
in the-
should be able to
he's
get
in the UK.
mazes.
Yeah, he's in the UK.
Yeah, you can definitely get it in the UK.
Okay. Do you know who's distributing over there?
Asmodee,
Asmodee? Okay.
you know, but I mean, any of the large stores in most of the large stores I know in Britain are carry mazes. So
Okay, cool.
you
Excellent.
can
So,
definitely get it. You can, and if they don't have it, they can order it. So.
yeah, definitely check that out, Jez. Excellent. Nice. Fantastic. And sorry to say hi to Alan, who's only on for 20 minutes, then into a client meeting, but hope to catch the end as well. United States and New Zealand daylight savings has moved this to the middle of the workday.
Oh yeah,
Oh. That's terrible.
daylight savings time is the dumbest thing that we do. So, in a world of doing dumb shit.
True.
Well, so Jake dropping here that we have a really good setting. So we did a campaign this year for the next book in the Mazes line, and the next book is called City of Skull, and it's a campaign setting and an expansion. It's a world to play in, and I thought this would be fun to show you all. So our cover artist is Justine Jones, and she's done a lot of Magic cards. She's really, really a great artist. She did the art that's on our T-shirts and everything. So this is her sketch for the Mazes City of Skull, showing a sword and a magic portal door and the gate of Skull, and the 3 moons up in the sky because it's the world in permanent eclipse. And so this is the initial sketch that we got from Justine, and then she gave us a rough and was like showing us like where she was going with some of the art. And like you see this, and it's just I like the moment I saw this, my immediate thing was like, please just be done so I can have the piece. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the final. And then it's kind of a cross. One of the things that I had asked her to do was to kind of cross Castle Grayskull with Snake Mountain.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
And
Jez says that's cool art. Sounds like screaming guitar solos.
yes, that's exactly right. Right, that's what you want to hear. Like when you see this, I was just in Essen, and I was walking around with my Mazes T-shirt on, and a guy came up out of nowhere and was just like, "Yo, that shirt is awesome," and I was like, "All right," and then he just walked away. It wasn't like, "Oh, I know Mazes." He was just like, that cover, that album art was dope, dude.
It's kind of like if the Muppets were in heavy metal, like that's literally like it's the heavy metal movie, and instead of the Muppets in Manhattan, it's the Muppets are in heavy metal. Like that's kind of the vibe.
That's because of me, though, Jake. Like,
I know.
Because you played Mazes with me. So
yeah,
it's
no, that's
having a Muppet actually run the game.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of videos of a Muppet with our mascot running the game, so that also helps.
The other one I love is whenever I see this, like if anyone hasn't watched it, like you should Google or find it on YouTube. It's called Korgoth of Barbaria. Like,
oh yeah,
it is literally what Mazes is that cartoon. It's like one cartoon. I think they did one episode, and for whatever reason, it didn't get picked up. But that's Mazes.
Right. Shall we move on to the next?
Yeah. So here's the next one. This is the finished artwork.
So good.
And one of the things that I love about it, and I love this about all of her art, is that as you look, you will find more things every time you look at it. Like, if you're looking at the sword and you look long enough, you'll notice that there's actually a skeleton behind it. There's actually a skull. And you don't see that at first. Or the fact that there's people walking into the gate mouth.
Yeah.
You know, or that there is things besides just gold in the treasure chest. And like, this is just one of the things that we did with both the original First City and then for City of Skull, though, is we went through and had Justine do these side pieces that allow us to then make it a spinner that we can use behind things. So this is a different colored version of it, and it's a little fast
nice.
as a GIF, but this is a you know, the two pieces click together on the end.
Yeah.
And so it can zoetrope forever.
It's in that central, line there.
Yeah, which I think is super fun, and really do enjoy that.
Yeah.
So when Jake and Dave asked me to be on the show, and they were explaining what they wanted, they were like, "Well, what kind of stuff are you working on?" And right now, I'm deep in City of Skulls. So me and some of the other writers are finishing this. We had done this campaign, and the setting's really kind of crazy. It's fantasy post-apocalypse. The evil elven witch kings destroyed the world. They left the world in the permanent syzygy where the moons are constantly blocking the sun. So it's a world where, you know, moonlight is all you have, and it's a endless wasteland that's filled with ruins for you to go and dungeon around in. Because the elves came to this world and killed all the orcs and the dwarves there, and so there's elven ruins and dwarven ruins and orcan ruins, and your people and froglins and dire rats living in this city that they left behind, you know, just trying to, you know, make it. So it has all these different actions, and there's a campaign setting, and there's a complete adventure path, and we're really excited for it. So.
Josh said you should get somebody to paint this on the side of a conversion van. I think you should paint it on the side of your van, Chris. Like
I was about to say, I do have a conversion van, and I have wanted to paint it on. You know, it is the vibe. The wizard van vibe is definitely, it's definitely what we're going for.
Yep, without a doubt. So, how many people do you have? Like, Ninth Level Games, how many full-time employees?
Ninth Level Games has 0 full-time employees.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I work for Ninth Level full-time, but I don't take a salary. I only work a few hours in the real world. Heather runs the company, but she also has a full-time job. She works for Backer Kit. And then our other business partner, Adriel, does a lot of the work, does some of the writing. And then what we have is we have 2 part-time employees. One that does our conventions, that's Bug. They also write. They wrote Sentai Sensibility. And then we have our marketing and sales person, Nat. And they also write. They wrote Business Wizards, and they wrote a new game that's going to come out next year called Starlee Davidson, which is kind of like Inside Out, it's like an emotions game about a lesbian biker going on a vision quest, but you play the factions in her head. It's deep and weird and cool, and
dude, I love Bug. She's great.
that one's Nat. That one's Nat's.
Okay.
Bug's working on some other stuff that's equally as cool. So,
nice.
But then and then we have Patrick, who is our primary mazes primary adventure writer.
Okay.
And then everyone else is contracted,
Contractors.
So,
yeah, you work with a bunch of freelancers, and
we work with a lot of freelancers. What we like to do is when we put together our writing team, it's one of the ninth level team, and then sometimes outside writers. When we're working with artists, we tend to pick one artist and work with them exclusively on a product.
right.
So like we'll get one artist for an entire product.
So you have that consistency throughout.
So we have that consistency, and that really started because we lucked out because a few years into Kobolds Ate My Baby, we started working with John Kovalek, and we started working with John before he was John Kovalek. He was just that guy John, like he wasn't internet, he wasn't internet famous and
Right.
everyone's favorite cartoonist. But because of that, we got used to working with a singular artist. So it really is the way that we like to work. And, we've reached a point now where we're putting out enough books that we've had to start to look at using outside editors and outside layout, which is something we had never done before. So,
right. Oh, that's cool. That's I'm always super interested in how people structure creative businesses.
When we first started, we just kind of thought we could do it all, and we are at least different than most in the fact that we actually can do it all. Like between me, Heather, and Adriel, we actually have been able to write, art, layout, produce, sell. Can do it from soup to nuts. The reality is though is that really means you only have a very little bandwidth.
Sure.
And, we have way more cool ideas than we have time. So growing, growing the team and growing opportunities for freelancing, it allows us to grow. I see there is a question in here about this.
Right.
Scott's questions are usually insane.
So Scott's question is, so if a staff member brings you an idea for, say, a warband game set in a standard low fantasy setting, do you fire them immediately? Bring it back with more madness.
Yes, it would be like, what's the hook, man? What's the hook? If we could just put out a low fantasy warband game, I would have already done that. Because I, like all nerds, have of course made at least 6 of them. One of the things that we have that's really good is that we have very different voices in the company, and we all have different, not just different. I don't want to say we have different goals. We all have different views on what's interesting. So when we align, we know that we have something that appeals to a broad audience, which helps. But we also know, like, for instance, we test products with Patrick Clapp. He writes all of our adventures. So if I have an idea for mazes and I say, "Yo, Trick, what do you think about this idea?" And he goes, "Oh," I'm like, "Okay, well, if Patrick wants to buy it, I know that people want to buy it. This is like he's the canary in the coal mine for that." But
so the idea is like, whatever.
Right, yeah. If he's not interested, then I'm like, oh, then nobody actually cares about this, because I'll get excited about any kind of weird idea. I'll be like, hey guys, I have this idea. But like, so like, here's an idea. Like one day, Heather and I were driving in the car, and we got riffing on how funny it would be if you were Greek deities going to college. And then we were like, it's even funnier if you're Greek deities going to community college. Like, you are the core problem is that you have disappointed your parents.
It's
And so
most
now
likely
you
Zeus and somebody else.
right, yeah, right. That's your like the first question is, are you one of Zeus's kids, right?
Yeah.
But then we had that like idea, and like it's like, okay, well that's enough. Like there's something there, and then it's like, okay, well everybody thinks that's cool, so that's put that on the list because it's got a broad enough appeal,
Right.
So then we went out and found the right artist and found the right people to write that, which is actually being written by the same team that wrote Pigeons 11 for us, which is a game where you are pigeons doing heists.
Okay.
So it's Ocean's 11 if you were pigeons.
If you were pigeons.
And so Mount Olympus Community College is going to be written by the same team.
Dude, missed opportunity. You should just call it Greek Life.
Oh, dude! The problem is Greek Life doesn't say that they're gods, because we went through a whole thing. Because like the whole joke really comes from, it's really funny if you are you're pledging mu gamma, and you're because the whole reason you're a community college is because you're one of Dionysus' kids, but you don't drink, right? Like the character creation idea is, how have you disappointed your ancestors? Like why is it that the gods, why aren't you allowed to go to Olympus U, right? Because there's only two options. There's the Ivy League school, the Ivy covered, perfect, or the community college at the base of Mount Olympus. So, that's kind of how our process works.
Cool. So, working with that, changing that, or I guess evolving that approach with the company to be able to generate the ideas and find freelancing teams to put them together. How many products are you putting out a year? What's the development process, or what's
our goal? Our goal now is to put out 3 what we call fun shots, which are small role-playing games that you could play as a one-shot.
Okay.
And then 1 larger game that would be of the size of Mazes or of Thunder Road Vendetta that we still haven't talked about. So 1 big game, and then 3 small games, and then ancillary products to support those games is our immediate goal. And then in addition to that, we also do we do level 1 for Free RPG Day.
What's that? What's
so for Free RPG Day is a event that occurs in the summertime that maybe one day won't be the same weekend as Origins. But the guys that run it are great, and we've been working with them from the beginning. One of the things that we had reached out to when the ownership of Free RPG Day changed 6-7 years ago, we positioned a thing to them and said, hey, one of the things that Free RPG Day is missing is there's no independent voices involved, because everything in it is free. It has to be coming from a company that's sponsoring and providing that. So what if we made a book? What if we made an anthology of indie games, and we solicited from the community the games, and then we paid the people that were going to be in this book, and then we pay for both the production of the book and paying them through advertising. And the nice thing is the advertising is all from independent role-playing game companies, right? So like the idea is they're ads that you want to see. Because at the time, my initial thing was you know what we don't have? We don't have the back of Dragon magazine anymore, which used to be where the industry was. Like if there was something coming out, you just look in the back of Dragon magazine and there it was. And now we're too big, and that's too much. And even if we had that, most independent RPG companies would be hard pressed to afford it. So, so how can we win on all those things? So we create this anthology. There's like 10 mini games in it. So they're between 1 and 6 pages, and 10 pages of ads, and it's done really good. We're on the 6th year. I think we just closed submissions for this year.
Okay.
The one thing that always cracks me up about that is so as a store owner who hosts and supports Free RPG Day, and our buddy Paul Butler, who all three of us know, is one of the owners of Free RPG Day. So when we get it, one of the things that always baffles me is how well received your stuff is, and more importantly, the quality of the product and the quantity of the product. Like, there are huge companies that put stuff in this. Companies like Paizo, Renegade Studios, WizKids has done stuff, and all of them are embarrassingly withdrawn in how little they put into this. Like, like a couple of years ago, I remember Renegade Studios, and like Scott Gate is a super nice guy, and I'm sure this is like levels below his pay grade, but like there was one year where we got like a packet of folders, and I mean like legit, cardboard, old school, like folders like you'd have in high school,
Folders,
that have like really cool art. And it was like, one was like the G.I. Joe role-playing game, and one was like the My Little Pony role-playing game. And I was like, there's no product in here. Like, this is a folder. Like, it's Free RPG Day, not free folder day. Like, not free desk supplies.
Sign me up for free desk office supply day.
Yeah, which we can do. It's just a different day. Like, Chris is going to own that soon. We'll do that. It'll be hosted at certain like office supply retailers.
Yep.
But like, it was like, so a stack of folders. And then, WizKids was like, oh, we included two limited edition, Dracula minis from their Nolzur's line. And I'm like, you guys are a huge corporation. You print these by the thousands. This is like 15 cents worth of product you threw in here. And then you've got independent companies like Chris, and there's other guys too. Like there's another company that always does a really good job. But these guys are putting in like actual stuff that you're like, oh, I want that. Like, that's a cool book that'll go on my shelf that has 10 different games in it. And you're like, oh, this was provided by an indie company and they paid for it all themselves. It's just the disparity between like the bigger companies and the indie companies. It's as a store owner and as a gamer, it's embarrassing. Like every year I just wait for Chris to see how badly Chris pantses one of the big companies. And they're like, oh, we included 3 pencils that have like, printing on them. And I'm like, what are you doing?
A big part of that has to go to the Free RPG Day guys who they invest in level 1. So we have the money to pay for it and to pay for things. Because one of the big things, like the reason to do it for us is to create an opportunity for newer designers, or even for established designers. But for newer designers, for a lot of them, it's their first. It might be the first time they get paid to write a role-playing game. Like, of the 60 designers or so that we've had, I think something like 30 of them or 40 of them, it was the first time they got paid any money to ever do a role-playing game. And then we have
now they can say that they're a professional published artist.
Right. You can be like, oh, I have my game. Hey, some of those people, they've been nominated for Emmy Awards. They've won Emmy Awards. I'm part of this Emmy award-winning anthology. But we've also had big name designers like Monica Valentinelli or Tim Hutchings, who were like, hey, I have this like weird idea that I don't have any place for it to go. Like Tim Hutchings has a game in the first level 1 called Dice Friends. And it is the most powerful and yet insane game I've ever played. It's 1 page long. And basically the concept of the game is you take a set of polyhedral dice and you roll them on a shelf. And there's some rules about what happens when you roll the dice. And the thing is the dice are slowly going away. And eventually there's just one left. And that's your friend who is dying. And it's about, like, what do you say to this guy before it's gone forever?
Oh
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. But it's like, where the hell would this game go? Like, there was no place other than the internet for Tim to put this game. So he was like, this is exciting, you know? And now people tell him that they've played it, and they're like, he's like, what, you played it? Yeah. And then his follow-up game the next year was a game about a little person living in a cup. You have to crush the cup. It's heartbreaking. But
there we go. But no, that's a great thing. I think that's super awesome and impressive that that's the core of the idea. There is to be able to provide an opportunity, provide a format, a venue.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be other ways for people to do that in the current world. You know, like the idea is most people is everyone has to self-publish. You have to put your stuff up on itch. You have to hope, you know. And it's just like everything else. It's just trying to get your name and get yourself in front of as large a group as possible. And for role-playing, there really isn't a group of people larger than Free RPG Day. And, you know, so we really push that and want to grow that, you know, that experience. So it's been really good. I get really excited every year. You know, my team, at this point, we have like a, you know, it's pretty. Adriel does the editing and the layout for the book now. Like, so we have a format for the book. We do a cover. We do a theme every year, and then it's really fun to go through all the submissions. And then, again, similar to how we do our own submissions for ninth level, right? We have 3 people who have wildly different views about what is good, and so we rank choice all of them,
right?
You know, and that way we get, you know, every year there's a bunch of different games that are a bunch of different voices for a bunch of different people. This year's is called How the West Was Lost.
How the West Was Lost.
Yes.
Nice.
And even though we do everything as blind, we don't know we don't know who submits. The readers don't know who submitted the games.
Okay.
I do know one, and I know when I see it, I'll know it was by our friend Matt Fantastic, who's writing a game that's about the actor Adam West being lost on the set of Batman 66.
Okay.
So I'm super excited for that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
I hope it's a LARP. I hope it's a LARP where you get to dress up like Batman and hide in a closet. That's what I want it to be.
And then everybody has to turn sideways so I can go out the building.
Yeah. Scott says most exciting day at 9th level games, Free RPG Day. Most feared day at 9th level, Employee Drug Testing Day.
Hey, man. What's funny is that the ones that are doing the drugs aren't the crazy ones at 9th level.
The drug testing is just for informational purposes.
Informational purposes only. Yeah, we survived fine.
Awesome. So earlier we mentioned Thunder Road.
So if anybody doesn't remember, the original Thunder Road board game came out in like the 80s, like late 80s, early 90s. And it was a Mad Max inspired road game. I want to say it was like Milton Bradley or Parker Brothers or somebody.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was. Milton Bradley, I think.
I owned it. So the idea was you had teams of vehicles, and every player had a color. So like Chris would be the green team, Dave's the black team, I'm the red team. So we move our vehicles around, and you have three classes of vehicles or 4 classes of vehicles. I think you had a semi that you had to protect. You had an interceptor, which was like Mad Max's car. You had like a light scout vehicle, and then I think you had like a truck or something, like a Suburban that had heavy weapons and stuff on it.
The game in the 80s, you had a Doom buggy.
Yep.
Which was a dune buggy with a gun on it. You had an interceptor, which is proudly displayed here on the front of Thunder Road Vendetta.
Yeah.
You had a eliminator, which is a big van, and you have a helicopter.
Oh, right. Okay, helicopter.
Okay, all right.
And in the
So the game mechanics itself, where it was a board that had spaces on it, and you'd move your guys up, and once you got to the end of the board, you took the board behind it and you moved it to the front. And anybody that was on the previous board, like, you basically left them in the dust, like they're gone, like they're
basically you fucking throw them off.
Yeah, but they're gone throughout the game. And then so you just keep moving it. And the idea is you're trying to get your team to the end of the road and survive.
Yeah.
So this is a game that was recreated by Restoration Games, whose entire reason to Extra is to take great game concepts from the past and remake them as good games for now, with high-end production values in the Homeland Yards. And
they've done some great ones. They did Fireball Island, which I played when I was a kid. They've now done Thunder Road Vendetta. They did what's the other one?
Unmatched.
Yeah, Unmatched is another one.
They do Downforce, which is based on one of my favorite old games, which was Cleveland Grand Prix, which is Downforce is an amazing game that doesn't get enough love. Super great game. But so the Thunder Road Vendetta board game was actually designed by Dave Chalker and Brett Myers, who are two guys that have designed a bunch of games, and who have also designed a bunch of role-playing games. Dave has worked for lots of companies, including Margaret Weiss Productions, and he did a lot of work on Serenity, and he's worked on a bunch of games. And Dave's made a bunch of board games, including one of my favorites, which is Get Bit, which is a game about trying to outswim your friends in front of a shark that has little people that you literally pull the parts.
Oh, is that the one that we played?
I don't know. Did we play?
Maybe it wasn't you, me. I think Trish Loader and I.
Oh, that's definitely a Trish game. Yeah.
Yeah, we played it. There's like little pull apart people, and there's a shark.
You pull their limbs off as they get bitten by the shark.
Yeah.
That's a Dave Chalker original. So,
as an Australian, I'm triggered.
I mean, you should be more triggered by this, right? This is more Australian apocalypse.
No, this is excited. This is like triggered is like a negative thing. This is like, yeah.
Yeah, Mad Max is like Santa Claus there.
Yeah.
So the guys that did the new version of the board game, they came to us at a game convention, actually at Unpub, and we're like, hey, do you think you guys might want to do a role-playing game? We were like, yeah, let's do it. I loved Thunder Road when I was a kid. And so I immediately was 100%. This was, before the board game had come out, we were having the conversations. And so the thing is, this is on Kickstarter right now. There's another week and a half or so. And what's really great is they came to us with this idea, and they already had some ideas about how they would use polymorph. And we had a sketch of an idea because we had been working on a game called Fast Cars and Fireballs, which was Fast and the Furious, but with wizards and goblins. So I had some information that I wanted to get with them, and so those guys did a great job, and they put this together, and we've run a bunch of play tests of it. And my favorite thing is the game is designed to encourage you to go over the top. Right. So one of the things is anytime you take an action, if you roll a 1, you're rolling the pedal. And if what you're doing is hitting the gas, your action, you get to do it. It succeeds, no matter what it is. But if what you're doing is putting your foot on the brake, it fails.
Okay.
So literally the game is mechanically designed to encourage you to go big, right? This is our tagline for it is drive it like you stole it, right? Play it, drive your character like you stole it. And it has some unique mechanics where you are both the player and the car. Do you have the character sheet?
Oh yeah.
That image.
Yeah.
This is like an early version of the front of the character sheet. And the idea is that so this is for the Avenger, which is the interceptor car, right?
Yeah.
So this is the D8 player. So when you're being the human, you're the D8, but when you're the car, you're rolling the V8. And what you're trying to do when you're taking actions, similar to mazes, and we were showing that earlier, if what you're doing is about doing anything about thinking or changing. So if you're moving the car, if you're making decisions about, going faster or doing something, you're trying to roll shift. You want to roll a 2 or a 3. If it's about moving the car and steering and getting in and out or being maneuverable, you roll steer 3, 4, 5. Now, that also you roll steer if you're running, jumping, hiding, doing anything with your body. If you're trying to shoot something, you're trying to cause violence, you want to roll 4, 5, 6, or 7. That also includes if I'm trying to punch you in the face. So I would shoot you with my fists. Yeah, Scott, because it's coming from outside. We're working with existing materials. We can't.
Scott
but
said,
if we reach,
I don't understand. It seems like a completely normal, based on existing truth. Name. What happened?
if we reach our final stretch goal, we're also going to make fast cars and fireballs as a zine. That will be a hack of this. So, which is definitely the more 9th level complete trope where you have magical cars that are fueled with dragon blood.
Awesome.
Your goblins on murder bikes.
Yeah.
Which is my. I've finally gotten to use my Philadelphia accent to its full effect. So the D4 in this game is called the murder bike because I can't say the word motorcycle. It's not a thing that motorcycle, murdercycle. It's murdercycle. That's how you say the word. It's
motorcycle.
Murdercycle. So, but one of the things that we've been working on, and we're including a bunch of stuff in this game. It's the first time that we're using the D12. We use the D4, the D6, the D8, the D10 in all of our games. But we start to use the D12 as the thing to roll for random things and keep it so that it could be shared amongst the players. And we had this idea for this game, which is how can we do something really crazy? And that's when we came up with the idea for the dice car.
Dice cars!
And
I'm excited for this.
So these are 3D printed models of the experience, and it's kind of hard to see it, but if you see the red on that car's
hood, so like basically where the engine block is and the front axle that runs where the wheels are, you'll spin that, and then it'll spin the engine block, and the engine block will show the result.
Right. You literally will just like push the car like a Hot Wheels, and it'll spin the D12. And you know what? I don't think I sent that. I have a picture of the spindle idea.
Yeah, no, I didn't send that one.
Yeah, I didn't send that. But
if anybody just goes to Thunder Road Vendetta, you can just scroll down and you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. It's on the Kickstarter page. You can see the thing. And we have a bunch of stretch goals that we're doing some good stuff, like some really fun stuff, like an air freshener, a D2 air freshener. That we just got the company that's going to do a custom smell. It's gonna.
Oh, fantastic! What's the smell going to be?
I wanted to just. I thought it should just be new car smell, but it's going to be Thunder Road Vendetta new car smell.
It's not going to be dog food.
Oh no, that would be good though. But
Yeah.
I would like it to smell good.
Okay. What can be good smelling dog food?
Good dog food. So our hope is if when all the design and development gets done on the dice cars and if they work really well and everybody really likes them, we'll probably revisit and do like a whole set of dice in the cars. This is just our first go at it. We wanted to make it as simple as possible.
Excellent. Matt Weaver has joined us and he says burning oil smell.
No,
yeah,
gasoline.
I said apocalypse was my other, like, what does it smell like? Apocalypse. Burning gas. That's what it needs to smell like. See, I would be okay if it smells like gasoline. I love the smell of gasoline.
It has to be old leaded gasoline though.
Yeah.
Yes. The piquancy, the vintage.
Yeah.
A 1978 American Let It.
This smells like early Carter administration.
Fantastic. That's great.
But so this is all on and the Kickstarter's running through not this Thursday, but the following Thursday.
Yeah, what do you have? 7? What do you have? I was just looking at, what is it, 7 days left?
9 days, yeah.
9 days. Okay.
8 days left.
8 days.
My apologies. I didn't even think about it. I didn't put the link in the notes, but I will put the link in the notes.
It's super easy. You can just write Thunder Road Vendetta. It should come up.
Yeah, it'll pop up.
Google. But so the Thunder Road Vendetta, the RPG, really, really excited. I like all of our games. I like playing them. But I have personally run a lot of this year. I've run it at a lot of conventions. I've had a ton of fun with it. It turns out it's really weird. There's been a couple of games, but there hasn't really been a Mad Max-esque role-playing game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Car Wars, but Car Wars is kind of different. Auto Duel is more like a sports movie. It's not really like a post-apocalyptic thing. It's more Death Race. That's it's more like, oh, I'm a professional athlete who happens to murder people.
Right.
And this gives you all kinds of rules and all kinds of things you get to create your own apocalypse and go through and you come, and it's very narrative, which is really kind of funny. One of the things was when Brett and Dave brought the idea to us originally, I was kind of surprised because I thought they would want to do something, because they've done a bunch of crunchy games, something really, really kind of crunchy, and they were like, nah, because what we found is that the activity is more narrative, right? It's about, like, if you think about it, like, think about Fast and the Furious, right? The stuff that happens doesn't make sense. If you were to plot that out and play that on a miniatures table, it wouldn't work. No. You would be like, there's no rules for this. None of this makes any sense. I can't, what? His car just jumped on the other car. He grabbed on a vine and swung the car around. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But in a narrative game that has its roots in the gonzo-ness of ninth level, sure, no problem. Just roll you die. Sounds great.
Make that happen.
I want to drive my American V8 muscle car that somehow is now in Russia into a speeding plane that's on fire while it's taking off. Like, okay, is it cool that I do that? Roll that
in the movie. Yeah, just roll your die. What do you, D8? Yeah, give me a shift roll for that. Yeah, that seems good.
I was gonna say, Chris, have you played Gaslands at all?
Yeah, it's funny. A good friend of mine, Anthony Amato, passed a few years ago, was a huge fan of Gaslands. And so we played a lot of Gaslands until that community got a little fash for us.
Right. Okay.
A lot of Civil War deniers, I guess, is the right word. Okay. A little too many Confederate flags. Let's just put it that way. And,
that's why I have a blue Dodge Charger with stars with the Old Glory on the roof, and it's the General Grant.
The General Grant, yes, the number 50 General Grant.
Yeah, that's right.
But I like to answer the thing that's super weird about Gaslands is the actual theme of that game.
Yep.
Is we screwed up the planet so much that an alien race comes and takes us over, and the people on Earth, the only people that are left here in the Gaslands, are a TV show that they're watching. That's right. The actual plot line.
I never knew that there was aliens. I didn't see any aliens.
Or if it's not aliens, it's the rich people that live on Mars.
It's the filthy rich. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Elon Musk and his family.
I mean, technically, you're both right because they're just Martians.
Sure. Yeah, there you go. The I was thinking of it from the like the mechanical standpoint, where the like the when you mentioned this game mechanically encourages going over the top. Gaslands is like, if you're unsure which of the two results to go with, it's the one that causes most carnage.
I mean, it's rule one is, yeah, whichever one causes the most damage is the version of the rule you should pick.
Maximum carnage, yeah.
But like here's a good example in Gaslands. You know, one of the things you get to do on your turn at the beginning of your turn, it's like in Star Wars X-Wing. You have to make the decision: am I gonna stay in the gear I'm in, or am I gonna go up, or am I gonna go down? Right. And in all of those games, if I gear up and I have miscalculated,
yep,
I am going to pay for that.
Yep.
And that's kind of the difference. In this, we don't want you to pay for that because we want you to gear up, go crazy every time, you know, because it's not a competitive game where I'm trying to beat you.
Sure.
Right. It's a role-playing game where we're all telling a story together and we're all experiencing.
Yeah.
You know, so what's the worst that can happen? Like we did. In fact, there's a video on the Kickstarter. It's on our on our YouTube where Yeet, who is our kobold, Yeet's running a game, and at the end of the game, Dave, one of the designers, literally drives his car off a cliff.
Oh God, yeah, I watched this. Was insane.
Attempting to land inside of another car, and he made all the rolls except the last one, which is when he realizes that they had jumped off a cliff and the car full of bombs is about to hit the ground, and it so blows up and everybody dies. But it was great. We were all like, "Yay!" It was awesome. Which, if you were playing that in a skirmish game where you had won all the things, you'd be like, "Ugh."
Cool. Nice. Excellent. So 9 more days, Thunder Road Vendetta.
9 more days, Thunder Road Vendetta, the RPG on the Kickstarter now.
Excellent. After the show, I'll pop it in the show notes, but in the meantime, there is a link down there to go to the 9th Level Games website. So there's probably a link from there, but also head to Kickstarter, type in Thunder Road Vendetta.
Jess that's a good one. Jess put in Apocalypse, the new fragrance from Chanel.
Chanel.
Well done, Jess. Well done.
Food apocalypse.
Excellent. And Patrick Milan has just joined us. Welcome, Patrick. Excellent. So I think
Patrick, I have a rule.
Oh, yep.
That rule is don't drive in Boston. So I hear you and I feel you because I've driven all over. I've driven in England. I've driven all over America. I've driven trucks. I've driven tiny little cars. The one place I don't drive, Boston.
That's why I can drive anywhere.
It's the only place where you can't get there from here is a true statement.
Yep. That fantastic. Cool. Well, Chris, thank you very much for telling us all about 9th Level Games.
Oh, I'm sure. Let me just talk about myself and all this.
Yeah, Dave, this was really heavy. This was really heavy lifting.
This is my arm.
Some real heavy lifting here.
I get that. I understand that.
Exhausted.
The same. I would feel bad if I didn't say thank you very much for doing that. But I mentioned just before the show that this is the time of the show when we usually take a look at miniatures from our Facebook community. I know you don't do a lot of painting, but I know that you also appreciate cool miniatures. So
I've been getting into the painting. Jake has pulled me down that dark hole
that the rest of us live in.
Yeah, I managed to avoid painting miniatures my entire gaming career, and I started out professionally in the game industry working at ChessX.
Okay.
In the mid '90s, when we also, there were a lot of minis. I worked with a lot of mini guys. I could have started painting at any time, and I was always like, nah, bro, I'm not gonna do it. Nah.
You
I got this TCG addiction. I don't need another one.
See, you were working for a company that made cases for people to carry their painted miniatures in.
Oh yeah, we made all of the stuff because at the time no one else made accessories.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
It's actually really dumb. I started painting because I bought a bunch of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon figures.
Yeah.
I bought the chibi miniature versions and I was like, I guess I have to paint these. I literally bought them. I was going to pay someone to paint them, and then I had a really good time doing it. And I was like, damn it.
That's awesome.
So Dave, when Dave couldn't come to San Diego Comic-Con 2 years ago,
yep.
Chris was there and I needed help, and Chris was kind enough to step in and kind of co-host the lessons with me. And it was great because he got to paint a miniature, and again, I was like, here, kid, the first taste is always free. And yeah,
I painted.
That's Callisto.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Callisto from the X-Men.
Yeah, she's sitting here. She's sitting here on my desk.
That's awesome.
But that was kind of. I'm not saying it was Chris's first experience with painting, but it kind of hopefully got him back in. So.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's a lot easier to paint miniatures now.
Yeah.
Yep. Excellent.
So let's see some excellent work. Let's see some people stuff.
So first up, I do this alphabetically, so we always get if Adam has posted something, we will get Adam's stuff first. But
this is so good.
Yep,
this is madness.
It is. There's so much going on here. It's super crazy. I think Adam's obviously had a great time working with those different fabrics. The texture on the skirt at the front here.
The texture on the red dress that the witch in the middle is wearing is amazing.
Yep. Incredible. But looks fantastic, Adam.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm impressed at all of the little different colors in the candy bucket.
All right. Yep. Nice. Hadn't even looked at the candy bucket.
That's definitely a Cadbury egg that's there in the blue.
Here in the middle?
That's definitely a Cadbury egg.
Could be.
If you're getting a Cadbury egg in your Halloween candy, mistakes have been made.
Yeah.
Don't eat that.
It's like, hang on, which Easter is this from?
Yeah, don't eat that.
Last Easter for next Easter. But no, fantastic. Just quickly though, as you say, Dave Hummel says, one of us.
Oh, I saw it.
Johnny, Chris welcomes you to the dark. Oh, sorry, Luis welcomes you to the dark side. And Alan said, Chessex cases were amazing back in the day. Such a step up from cutting up a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. But beautiful work there, Adam. Looks great. Adam has also shared this one with us.
Didn't he show us this guy before?
I think he was working on it. I think it was halfway through. Could be.
Maybe he wasn't done. Maybe he wasn't done.
Yeah. But or it might have been sort of a similar style model. But yeah, it's looking really nice. I'm loving the volumes that he's getting.
Yeah, the volumes on all the color he's got, all the different like shades and stuff.
Yeah.
The gold belt is amazing.
Yeah, it's looking fantastic. The skulls are great too. Loving those.
That's a cool model.
Yeah, beautiful work there, Adam.
I like his He-Man boots.
All right, yeah, it's fantastic. But one of the things I point out here, Chris, he's really focused the sort of attention around the face by pushing the saturation of the colors.
Yep.
Up here, whereas when you get further away, it's sort of darker and desaturated.
Yeah, if you look at like the tone on, if you go from his foot to his knee to his hand to his shoulder to his face, you can see the this difference in the skin tones.
Yeah. But
a thing that's easy enough to do when you're working on an electronic, but I can't even think about doing it. Painting a little.
Yeah. But beautiful work there, Adam. Looks great. Alan, who's is with us in the chat.
Oh, you're more the gang members.
Yep. Oh, what were these for again, Alan? Let us know.
Isn't this for
Just Stargrave?
the Monster Fight Club game? Oh no.
No, these aren't for a Cyberpunk game.
No, yeah, I forget what it's for.
I mean, these guys look like they're for Thunder Road to me.
Well, except for the wizard.
Oh, there we go.
Man.
It was Stargrave. Yeah.
Okay, Stargrave.
Fantastic. But yeah, looking cool there. Yeah, that.
I mean, what you call a wizard, I just call a guy with a big tube of radioactive goop.
It's leaking ends. But no, looking great there, Alan. Nice work. Amos has been painting up some Iron Warriors Terminators.
These are great.
Cool, aren't they?
To bring us all the way back to the beginning of the show, these are what Terminators look like?
Yep.
These are Chaos Terminators, the evil Terminators. So
I mean, evil is a subjective word.
They're more evil.
more evil. The we've got so many skulls, we have to stick them on spikes. Evil.
He did a great job with the. I'm especially digging the hazard stripes on the two guys on the left on the shoulder pad and on the power fist.
Yeah. Yep.
Just got to drill out those barrels though.
So you would drill out those barrels and do what?
Well, I would drill them out so it's a hole,
and then paint it black on the inside.
Oh.
Yeah, rather than just painting a black dot, which is like a lot of us do.
I do it on all my guys. I always drill out the barrels.
But looking great there, Amos. Nice work. Chris Gorka.
Nice. Yeah, I saw these guys when you posted me. They look rad.
Yeah, Chris posted up a.
Chris Gorka is the name of this mini, right? That's the
Chris Gorka is the painter.
No, Chris posted up this whole kill team, the Nemesis Claw kill team.
Yeah, these guys are great.
There's a great spinner that you can check out in the.
These are some of Chris. These are some of Ben's favorite Space Marines. These are the Night Lords. They're essentially they're like Batman, but like if Batman was evil.
Again, your use.
Yeah. Well,
if I was going to paint these, I would paint them to look like Warduke.
100%. Warduke's the best.
But when Jake says evil, it's more like Batman. If Batman didn't mind killing everybody,
sure.
Yeah, if Batman's job was to kill everybody,
well, just it caused pain and terror in the intervening time. But yeah, very cool, cool stuff there.
These are awesome.
Nice work, Chris.
Yeah, that guy's my favorite. The guy with the knife and the hood. That guy's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks really great. Chris also posted up some Vespid Stingwings today on the group, but I didn't get a chance to include them in the show tonight. So
we'll show those off next week.
That's next week, yeah. But, yeah. Oh, Chris says, Jake, you'll see them in person soon.
Oh, nice.
Oh, excellent. Okay, should be cool. Chris Kemmig finally put the base underneath his Thalax here.
It looks so much better.
It looks great. Yeah.
This piece is amazing.
Yeah,
the little robot guy.
I love this.
He looks wonderful.
I love the rusted girder.
Yep. Well, one of the great things he's got going on here is this lovely triangle that sort of moves through this part of the model. So you've got the rusted girder, you've got the orange, orangey red going on with the cables, and then you've got a red light and a red sensor and some orange rust happening here.
What game is this for?
This is for Imperial Legions Imperialis. It's
no. This is
this is 30K, right?
Horus Heresy. Yeah, this is Horus Heresy. This is the 28 mil scale.
So Horus Heresy takes place 10,000 years before Warhammer 40,000. It's during the Civil War.
Yep.
This piece is just really cool.
Yeah.
That's
Who doesn't like giant robots?
yeah. I mean, it just looks cool. It doesn't have any of that over the top 40K-ness.
I mean, he does have a chainsaw underslung his laser.
Yeah. I mean, but that's because it would be effective because you're a giant robot. So.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it looks great there, Chris. Beautiful work. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the squad. Oh, I went the wrong way. There we go. Dallas is working on some knights.
It looks like a knight household. So he's got two war dogs. He's got a crusader on the left. That's I always forget what the big one on the right is.
That one is the
the Castellan.
Yeah.
And then he's got a
Knight Porphyrion.
Yeah, Porphyrion, the Acastus in the back.
Yeah.
That thing is nuts.
Coming on nicely. I think the blue and the white scheme is good. The gold, loving the gold on the Porphyrion here. I think as he brings that gold and the white and blue and white down through the rest of the model, it's going to look great.
Super cool.
Oh yeah, nice work, Dallas.
That's one of the few armies I probably would have painted in sections. Like I would have done all the robots by themselves and then all the armor plates by themselves and then glued the plates onto the robot.
Yeah. Definitely the way to go for those, I think. But
Greg's got some revilers.
Yep. So Greg's been working on some revilers. He had in the post that he's been putting up on the Facebook group, quite a few questions about like revilers and relictors look very similar. They got similar color scheme.
Yep.
And similar iconography. So he was going through, I think, a little bit of a crisis of confidence about how he wanted to paint his models up to give him a little bit of to really push that revilers kind of look. But so if you have some thoughts on it, definitely go to the group and post your comments.
I like it. Yeah, he was talking about doing Terminators, and I threw my 2 cents in.
Yep.
Chris, see the barrels on these guys? He drilled them out. Especially the one in the back middle. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Excellent.
Yeah, these are great though. Oh, I love the old school bases too, with like the little like catechin plants.
Yeah. But no, looking great there, Greg. Looking forward to seeing more of them. Excellent. And then Zulin Liu has been
killing it.
Yep, working on this. Is this the Triaros?
Yeah, the Triaros.
This hurts my head because that's not actually a metal tread, right?
No.
Like this literally just looks like a model train piece.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
this
it's
a gray plastic. It's a gray plastic model.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Amazing job.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic work there. The weathering, the chipping, the scratches, they're all great. The rust strips, fantastic. But all of that work, all the grime, the accumulated grime on the engine.
Yeah, I love the dirty future look, and I like all the little decals.
Sue does a good job of putting on his decals and then chipping them up. So he's got lots of like damage and scraping and chipping.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, beautiful work. Looking awesome. Look forward to seeing it all finished off in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Great.
Hey, a better photo.
So Jeff posted his Inquisitor Eisenhorn last week. The slightly odd angle on the model meant that everything was in focus except for the head. So he's turned the model a little bit, taken another photo, got everything in focus.
To put it more perspective, Chris, his feet were in focus, and the further you got away from his feet, the more out of focus it got.
So that was because he was wearing special armor that made him harder to see.
Yeah.
You got to shoot his feet out first because that's the only parts in focus.
But no, it was fine before, Jeff. But thank you for coming back with another one.
He looks great.
Does look cool.
Like last week, I assumed he looked great, but now I know he looks great.
Yeah, there we go. Good job. And another pick. So Jeff's done a bit more work on this repulsor.
Yeah, this looks great. It's such a cool tank.
Dave Spain. Looking forward
Oh,
to
so that's that the name of this one?
Yeah. Didn't I thought I mentioned that last week. Yeah, Dave Spain, and when he sent it to me and said that was what it was called, I sent him a gift like, it's me living rent free in his head. But nice work, Jeff. And then final model from Jeff was this
Was that Severina Ray.
Severina Rain Commissar.
Yeah, I love her giant hat.
It is the largest of the Commissar hats. It is incredibly amazing.
Very, very Russian army officer caliber. It's like out to her shoulders.
Yeah, it keeps the sun off her.
Yeah.
But no, great work there, Jeff. Looking really good. Nice one. John Steining has been painting up some rivers or building some rivers and painting them up for his Epic Battles games.
He's a brave soul. I would just buy the painted ones that come from Gale Force 9.
Yeah. But no, John likes messing around with things like that. So
I meant to say you have to be ready to play around with resin.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
It's definitely a line that I'm not willing to cross.
But John's been making terrain for a long time, but these pieces are looking really good. But as you say, like working with resin is that whole other next level.
Yeah,
I love watching the videos online of people doing crazy stuff in resin, and then I look at it, and I'm like, "Yep, not gonna do that."
Yeah.
Again, like I know how to do it, and Dave does as well. Like I've built resin terrain pieces before. I don't need to do it again. Like I have my merit badge. I've done it. I don't need to do it again.
Yeah, I super understand that. Like especially like as like if you're really into the hobby, you're like, well, I have to do that at some point, right? Like that's.
Yep. John's in the chat and he said resin is horrible.
Yeah, it's not great.
Awesome. Thanks one, John. Yeah, they look
cool.
Great. Well done. And John also posted this guy.
Nice.
That's the scariest thing we've seen.
That's I believe this is not Polian.
Not Polian. Yeah,
is that really its name?
I have no idea.
Oh. That was a good joke then.
Thanks, man.
I just assumed that was because it was so good. I thought that I was like, this is just a figure I'm unfamiliar with. This is just not Polian.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I have no idea.
I like the idea of a Deadpool-like group of alternate Napoleons.
Napoleons. That would be pretty wild.
Napoleon, not Polian.
There's our new Chris. There's the next ninth level game. You're welcome.
Yep.
And and one
League of Extraordinary Napoleons.
One of them is just John Heder going, not again.
No.
But no, that was super disturbing. Thanks for sharing, John. All good. Justin McCoy.
You're saying that, but I'm actually going to write it down because Dynamite Napoleon's pretty funny.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, he's working away his little shadow box. I like this thing.
Yep. I think he's almost to the point now where he's got nothing left to do except paint the model.
Paint the monk.
Paint the heavy monk. But yeah, looking good. I think the addition of those ferns is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking great. We're excited to see you start on the monk now, Justin.
Napoleon's very good.
Yep. Excellent.
Napoleon, GNAT Polian.
Yep. Are you writing these down? Are you writing them down?
I
mean, just go back and look at the episode again. Kelly posted this and said that he was sorry that he hadn't posted it earlier to help me out.
Yeah, I like it.
Last week. But yes,
these are very cool.
It's a great family photo.
It is a good family photo. I love that he gave Quicksilver the old school uniform, the green.
Okay.
The green.
We got to if you're going to go with the pink, the pink and red Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, the classics. You got to do the classics.
Yeah. But fantastic stuff, Kelly. Thanks for sharing those. And Kelly also posted.
That's cool.
So this is from the the monsters, no, the creatures.
Oh yeah. This is from the Monsters Unleashed. It's the new set that has like, so there's Dracula's castle as a new set piece. It's gorgeous. Then the 4 monsters you get are the Mummy, you get Dracula, I think it's the Wolfman and Frankenstein.
Yep.
Or Frankenstein's monster, sorry, I should say.
Yeah. But no, Kelly, this looks great.
Yeah, Jez is going right there. Neapolitan. There you go.
Oh, is that literally? It's literally Crisis Protocol figs.
Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the new Monsters Unleashed set.
But yeah, looks great, Kelly.
The Tomb of Dracula.
Yeah, it's super cool. We just got all this stuff in stock. It's awesome. As part of the same wave, they put out Mephisto.
Yeah.
I mean, Dracula in the Marvel Universe is a punk. So
yeah, Wolverine has killed him like 3 times.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the MI13 run when Captain Britain and company have to go kick Dracula's ass because they're shooting missiles that are just vampires. They're just vampires in missile cases, and they're going to shoot them all over the UK. That's canon. That's real. That really happened.
Yeah, that really happened.
Kelly says he has Mephisto too.
So. Nice.
Excellent.
Oh my God, Jez, you're the best. It says it's only Frankenstein if it's from the Frankenstein region. Otherwise, it's just sparkling necromancy.
I heard a great version of that earlier today, which was I understand that you're doom scrolling. We got some really quality Doom going on right now, but it's only actually doom scrolling if it comes from the Mordor region.
Nice.
Otherwise, it's just terror, abject terror.
Luis, this is phenomenal work.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yep, looking wonderful. So, yeah, beautiful stuff. It's funny, we tell all of our guests each week about Luis, but yeah, he's doing beautiful work there. He originally came to us from Gunpla.
Yeah, you're right. It's Gunpla. It's like scale modeling. He came over from doing non-gaming related modeling.
But yeah, so
I see that he turned his mini so that you can't yell at him for not drilling the.
the
chapter badge. Yeah.
Oh no! Look at what he did here. He's not only drilled it this way.
Yeah, you got to drill out the
break.
Yeah, the muzzle brake. I do it all my guys too. You got to. You have to.
Yep. All the details there, but no, it looks awesome, Luis. Looking forward to the rest of them.
I got him I found the suppressors and got him the suppressor, so now he has the three models to add to the unit.
Awesome. Richard Ralph.
This guy's great.
So Richard Ralph said, better late than never. Earlier this year, we had a 4-color challenge. So Jake had these 4 colors, and he was like, I don't know what to do with it.
I was like, these colors are stupid. Like, who's going to use these on anything? And then, like, everybody was like, well, let's paint a model with just those 4 colors. So,
I would take that challenge.
Hang on.
Well, there you go. That's the colors, Chris. You saw them. Oh, yeah, so Dave did this worm.
Yeah, rock and roll.
And yeah, but yeah, Richard's model there is great.
He looks like something out of like the Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, I got no idea where it's from. The base is confusing me. It's a.
Oh yeah, I don't recognize that base. It has like a weird like directional thing. So like that's the front of the model, like where the arrow is.
Yeah. But the he did say it was kind of difficult to get that sort of skin tone happening with those 4 colors.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely super cool. But yeah, great work there, Richard.
Nice.
And Richard also painted up this guy.
Oh yeah, that's the I want to say Slaughtermaster, but it's not. It's the guy that came in the original Age of Sigmar, the Corn set, the Corn half.
The first edition starter set.
I realize. Yeah. I didn't realize you mean KORNE, not CORN.
I mean KHORNE,
yes,
not CORN.
Yep. Fantastic. But looking great. Nice one. And then Tommy.
Dude, that's awesome.
Tommy's killing it. But
is that Felix?
That is, yeah, it's Felix. Felix Jaeger. But yeah, some beautiful stuff there. I'm not sure. I think the model is kind of the very last. It's either the very last edition of Gotrek and Felix they put out, or it might have been done by Forge World, or it's a 3D print.
I think it's a 3D print. It's really good though.
Really
he did such a good job with like the pants. Like Felix always has the striped pants.
Yep. But beautiful, absolutely beautiful work there for sure. Loving it.
That sword is serious.
The sword's great. The face is great. The stubble's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really good.
It's yeah, beautiful stuff there. Just got to see him do Gotrek now. It's going to be amazing.
Gotrek is the best. Gotrek and Felix are basically a Warhammer Fantasy. Think like old school D&D buddy cop story. Because so like Felix is like the minor noble son who has basically like gone afoul of the law and is like on the run, and he meets Gotrek, who is a dwarf who is like sworn to get killed fighting monsters, like to make up for some crime, and the two of them just go around like stumbling into like insane plots and like killing everything and like fighting their way out. And the best part is like nothing can kill Gotrek. Like Gotrek's whole job is like, hey guys, I'm really sorry that I did this. I swear by the dwarven gods I will die fighting our enemies, and nothing can kill him.
Yeah.
It's great.
But yeah, so Dave Hummel asked if it was from the oversized set. No, it's not. I've got that one. I painted that one, but this model is.
Yeah, that just looks like he's on a 20 mil square. So
it could be.
Are the oversized sets 54 millimeters?
No, they're 40 millimeter.
No,
so Chris, perfect. It's a great question though, because they're like Classic Games Workshop. It's just another weird size. It's 40 mil, so it's not anything else. It's not.
It was not for gaming. Yeah. They were the weirdest set, but I've got those just sitting upstairs. They're up.
I do like the fact that the oversized aren't the large ones.
Yeah, right.
This is a grande, not a Trente model.
But yeah, but that fantastic work, Tommy. I think that's the last mini that we have to show.
Right on.
So we can then reveal that next week we will be joined by.
I love that Greg sent you this as his headshot. I was giving him crap today. I was like, "Are you the Flash? Like, are you just vibrating between like in the Speed Force and like no one can take a photo of you?"
Greg's awesome. He's an awesome dude.
He is.
Yeah.
And he makes a great product.
I mean, obviously, he had a lot of sugar this day when they were doing headshots, and he just like couldn't hold still. But
Yep.
Greg, yeah. So we'll have Greg on next week.
So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll be talking about obviously Turbo Dork, talking about where they came from, what they're doing now, what their plans are. But yeah, and we've got some fun stuff in boxes to.
Yep. Yeah. We have. Where's mine? One's right here.
So we are excited about that. Looking forward to that. And one thing that we'll also mention is something that I think Scott and Josh mentioned in the chat earlier in the show. Our season sponsor, the Army Painter, released a new video today in their classic teasing a tease. It looks like in January we'll be getting some more information on their work with their collaboration with John Blanche.
There he is.
We're pretty
the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Yep. It was tough because there were no stills that I could grab from anywhere, so I had to like screenshot this halfway through the or as he appeared in the video.
Oh, sure. I was like, there's tons of stills of John Blanche. What are you talking about?
Well, not stills of John Blanche, but John Blanche in this video kind of thing. There was
right. I got
you. Is with next to the Army Painter name, blah blah blah. So, but I was also sort of super excited to to learn more. And I sent Adam a message and said, hey, what can you tell us? And he goes, January. Like, okay. So,
oh man.
but yeah.
Well, I think it'll be fun. We'll definitely try to pull some strings, see if we can get John on the show. But yeah, I don't. Who knows? Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank Chrissy. Thanks so much for coming on the show, man, and talking about stuff. It was great spending time with you.
Always.
Bummed I'm not going to get to see you in a couple weeks, but
yep.
And Dave, anything else? Anything else you got a pitch or throw out there?
Nope, all good. I think just don't forget Thunder Road Vendetta if you're into Mad Max apocalyptic.
Time is running out.
Time is running out. It'll never be here again.
You have a week and a day.
None of these things will ever. Well, I mean, there are some cool stretch goals that are only going to be available on the Kickstarter.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. Excellent.
But yeah, if anybody needs anything, let us know. You can message us on the Facebook page, or you can poke Dave and I. If anybody's interested in Chris's stuff, you can go to the 9th level site. You can also just Google Thunder Road Vendetta, and we'll make sure Dave puts a link in later on.
It's the number 9 THLEVEL. You can find us on every platform.
And check in with your local game store if you need anything. If you don't have a local game store, you can go to our store, Alpha Omega, and I will send you stuff as well. We have just about everything that Chris and Heather make, and the rest of the fabulous team over at 9th level. We will see you guys next week. And as always, do not forget to build, paint, play.
Yeah.
Shut up and sit down.